Welcome back, everybody, to Ultimate CNFT. Mike, aka Mr. Ultimate, here with you today, and we're with Dennis. I like to call him Nice Dennis of Unleashed Beasts. I'm very excited to be conducting this interview, and I'm very excited about all the information we're about to share with this upcoming project. I got one question for everybody. Dennis, how you doing, bro?
Happy to be here, man. You know, I like it when I'm here with you always. And thanks for the warm welcome. Really hyped for that interview.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you on here. I mean, we've worked together closely and so many different facets. We go way back to pretty much about a year ago or so, talking, making friends, talking about nice society and just all the things that you've done for the Cardano community. And, it's so good to see you in this next adventure. And I'm excited about it. Look, you've been doing a lot and there's a lot to share. Of course, I just did a video, you guys, a deep dive on this project. You can check it out. It's on the channel, but we're going to now hear it from the horse's mouth, the inventor, the stylist, the man himself. Dennis is going to tell us everything about Unleashed Beast. Now, you guys are minting on the 5th of May. Is that correct?
That was the initial date, but we will move it 5 days behind. So it will be the May 10th. And
Okay.
I will share exclusive information in this interview. And
Ooh, a little bit of alpha. Let's dial it up.
yeah.
Well, so how
Um,
would you like to start? Would you like to start with the start of the journey of this project? You want to start with some of that alpha? Do you want to tell us maybe why you bumped it up 5 days? Actually, that's news to me. The funny thing is I live in such an echo chamber sometimes because I got my head down doing what I do that I don't often bounce around the communities like I used to. I like to catch up on those things, but I didn't even know that you were delaying 5 days. Tell me, what's the reason for the delay?
I feel you. Um, the reason for the delay is like what we did with this project, like coming to the first thing, how the idea from Unleashed Beasts came across is that we as the team, like we are a team of 3 people in the core team. That's me, Vanessa, and Lero, and we all know each other from real life. Like we are best friends. Vanessa is my girlfriend, Lero is my best friend, and we came together and thought about like what is missing in the space? Like, what are projects doing good and what are projects doing bad? And what our conclusion was is that often, like, we have such unique strengths in Web3. For example, we have community, what Web2 businesses don't have in such a scale. We have the content creation where there are projects in the space that are top notch. And if you compare like the content creation, for example, from Seppi Seals to the content creation from, I don't know, Zara, for example, it's a different way. Like you engage daily with your community, you make engaging content and interactive content. And our conclusion was, okay, often projects overcomplicate it too much. Like what we wanted to do is like focus on these core strengths of Web3 to make a successful Web3 brand. And that's also what Unleashed Beasts is, a Web3 brand, which focuses on community, on entertainment. Like we often call ourselves an entertainment company because we do daily content. I think we started beginning of December and we have like usually we have one off day in the week where we don't post any content, but since there we almost posted every day and it played off because the numbers are good, the people like the content, and I think that's the way in Web3. You need to constantly have your community to engage them, that they have something to do to interact with your content and so on. And what we also do, like we are in a very special situation right now. I think we're full in the bear. That's why I appreciate people like you, like me, like other people I see daily in the community to still be on the fronts to to rock the stuff we do. And I think it's a special situation because projects have to adapt in a different way than they had to do like a year ago or half a year ago. And what we did is like we saw, okay, many mints are not selling out, not only because of the market, but also because of other reasons. Oftentimes also projects don't adapt in the right way regarding mint size, mint price.
Mhm.
Sometimes also what we saw is that the marketing and the content creation falls off towards right before the mint. So the momentum goes away. And what we are doing in the team, like we are coming together every week and we are monitoring the status quo. Okay, what is the situation in the market currently? How is our community doing? How is the project doing with the development that we do? And the reason for the delay is, like you already told in your video, our supply is 3,000 and the mint price is 88. Like we adapted to the situation of the market, which is, I think, the right way, in my opinion. And the next step, like that was a few days ago, we explored different scenarios how we want to do our mint. Like, do we want to mint the 3,000 in one set, in one go? Or do we maybe want to do also another split? And what we came up with is that this will be like the last announcement before the mint, is that we are halving the 3,000 supply into 2 batches. Like the first batch will come out on May 10th. Like we moved it 4 days further because we want to do another campaign before the mint to create another momentum rush. And what we will do is like we played a lot with the idea of momentum, keeping the hype going, because often you see it, a project has a certain hype phase, then it falls off, maybe right before the mint it goes up, and oftentimes, like I think 8 times out of 10 after the mint it goes boom. And what we want to do is like having a type of momentum cycling. And that's why we will do the first mint on Cardano in 2 batches. The first mint with 1,500 May 10th and the second batch 1,500 again, approximately a month later. And I think that has 2 advantages, because first, the supply from the 2 batches is very low, in my opinion. Like 1,500 is way beneath the demand that we analyzed in our community that has like approximately, I think over 10K Twitter followers now, 7,500 Discord followers. Our Twitter numbers on the posts are still very good, although the bear market is in full action, which makes our team very proud and which shows a bit that the daily content creation and the consistent adaptation to the market pays off. And through that split of the mint, we will have like hopefully a successful sold out with the first batch of beasts coming to the market. The people will, like, I think what the market is currently missing is a mint that sells out and also has a positive aftermarket, because we haven't had that like in 2 or 3 months, like was the last mint that happened like that. And I think for us, it's good. Okay, we get a small amount of funding already. We can start building. The community has their beasts. They can start interacting with them. We have a lot of events planned after mint where you can utilize your beasts, so that we can like start to engage the community in new ways, not only through posts, but also with the beast in your wallet. And through the second batch, then coming up a month later, we will have like what I called the momentum recycling, so that you can have the hype ongoing for the second batch. And then after the second batch happens, months later will also be released the second part of the whole beast collection in another style on the Polygon chain, which you also told in your video. And that's another milestone on our way where we will try to keep the momentum going. And that's the reason why we decided to do one last change, to split the supplier again into and have like smaller batches coming, but I think in the end with a bigger impact than releasing the full size at one go.
Well, I got a lot to say about all of that right now, because first of all, when I hear something like that, what I think is that somebody, this is a team who can really read the market. I mean, being able to read the market right now is more important than it has ever been, because you and I have been here long enough. I mean, I've been here for well over a year now. I think I'm pushing about a year and a half. or even more. And I've seen every market condition. I've seen anybody can just throw a dart at any project and everything was just happy go lucky. And then what happened was you get a rush of a lot of people coming saying, I want to do a project on Cardano as well, whether they had good intentions or bad intentions, or whether they just wanted to come in and just get away with, being a scam at the time because everything was so hot and it was so easy to mint. Well, when times change and you are in the depths of a bear market, you have to adjust. And so I think that you guys have adjusted very well in many, many ways. And of course, the great thing about having this interview right now is this is part that I didn't even know, that you had again cut the supply down, well, not the supply, but the minting into halves. And so it's very interesting for me because I think you're right. What we need to see in this market right now is we need to see a project mint, a good price, a great product rather, come in and be able to not only sustain a floor price, but maybe even do a little bit better because there's a little bit more demand than there is supply. Supply and demand being the ultimate equalizer of any sort of investment, purposes. And so I like the fact that you're doing that. And you say about a month later, you're going to come out and do the other 1,500. We're going to talk about the whole Polygon aspect here in a few minutes because I've got a lot to say about that as well. But so I guess the one question I would have as somebody who is minting this project, and I do hold a Beast Pass. So the Beast Pass, are you going to be able to mint both sections with this Beast Pass, or how does that whole thing work? Because there's a lot of people that are holding on to those, and if you can double dip, I mean, that's great.
Yeah, I think that's the cool thing about the Beast ticket. Like we always looked, okay, how can we put extra benefits to the Beast ticket? Because like with the pass games, there's always also the big phase before the mint where the pass has a lot of value and then after mint it drops. The cool thing for our passes is like we have the usual better minting conditions with I think 4 spots for the red ticket and 6 spots for the gold ticket, which will be good for both parts. And the cool thing is because we split the supply into 2 halves, like it will be slightly over allocated from the whitelist perspective. It will be, I think, if all pass holders mint out the full allocation, it will be slightly over allocated. But in a normal world, it won't be like that. So it should be good that the supply matches exactly the whitelist demand after that. But it will be slightly over allocated. So it's not guaranteed that you have a mint. Because we have 2 whitelist roles. We have 1 whitelist role that can mint 1 beast. These are guaranteed. So everyone who has whitelist will get 1 beast, but there's also a role where you can mint 2 beasts. And if every person before mints out their full allocation, there won't be enough spots for the X2 but the good thing is with the tickets, like if you're a ticket holder, you are guaranteed to mint out your full allocation in both parts. And what we also made sure that there's extra value. I think one thing is that with this momentum that we want to keep going, is that with the second batch, you have benefits with your ticket. Then the Polygon mint comes up sometimes after that, a few months later, where you also have the benefits of being the first one to mint, of having the safe, the guaranteed mint. And what we also implemented in the past is the continuous airdrop cycle, which we call it. So with the gold ticket, you already get the first airdrop with this mint. You get a free beast if you hold a gold ticket. Then for the Polygon mint, every beast ticket holder, like if you have a red one or a gold one, you get a free mint of the Polygon collection. And then there's also the Beast World Collection, which will release sometimes in this year. It's not specified yet, but this will be like we are building unleashed beasts in a thinking of building an ecosystem. And the beasts live in Beast World, and Beast World will be an extra mint which will have additional benefits in the ecosystem and the web application that we are building. To summarize it in short. And the Beast World mint that will come up sometimes this year will also be free airdrop to both ticket holders, so red and gold one. So you as a ticket holder, you will have the better minting conditions. You will have a safe spot at the mint, which is coming up now. And if you hold it further, you will have the extra benefit of getting airdropped free items of future collections. And also what we can talk about in a few, like we want to expand our ecosystem that we are building through integrating maybe also ideas from the community, which will we implement with an own community launchpad to the ecosystem. And we will also try to integrate, which is in the last part of our roadmap this year, try to integrate possible Web2 business into our ecosystem. And our goal is to create extra revenue streams through this, so that we don't rely just on minting another collection, but also have revenue streams beside it. And the cool thing is, like, these ticket holders, because there's only 100, so it's very manageable for us, it's very scarce, and we will the ticket holders will participate in the revenue stream. So you will get a revenue share from every revenue stream that we are building through our journey. Because it's only 100 ticket holders, it's much more manageable. And compared to a ticket size maybe of 500, the revenue share will be bigger per person than if we had, for example, 500 or 1,000 tickets.
Wow. So one question I have after hearing all that is, obviously I'm very bullish on these tickets. Now, since the mint has been moved back to the 10th, can people still go, as of the making of this video today, and go pick up more Beast tickets and qualify for the mint as well? Or do you have to, in other words, are they going to be reading the wallets, or do you have to register and verify these tickets?
There will be a snapshot for the tickets, but it will be like a day before the mint. So okay, you still have time.
24 hours before the mint to decide if they want to go pick up a couple more Beast tickets off the floor.
Absolutely.
I saw those. They were so high at one point, and now they're very affordable. And you know, hearing the fact that you're kind of checking all the boxes, looking at saying, hey, we don't want to create something and then have it get discarded off to the side like many passes unfortunately do. If they can stay relevant throughout the course of your entire project, that to me is fantastic, because you're not wasting anything. So again, a lot of foresight going in with this whole creation of the way you guys are doing it. I'm actually even more excited, to be honest with you, about everything that you're doing with the way you're splitting it in half, those Beast tickets, being able to be involved in both of them. I'm probably going to end up picking a couple more of those off the floor myself for the ultimate war chest, because we want to be involved in this project as much as possible. Tell me a little bit about the development of the art, because in Cardano, we've got this debate. We've got the people who like both AI and original art, and we've got people who only like one or the other. I'm right there. People who, I like them both. I love to see original artists do their thing, and I also like to see very creative and very well done AI digital art. And so you're going to be encompassing some of the original side more in the Polygon, which we will be talking about. But for right now, you've got this AI art, and it absolutely looks fantastic. Can you tell me a little bit about the development of the AI art and how we got these cute little beast monsters to come up and capture people's imagination? Because I really do feel like this project is going to capture a lot of people's imagination.
Yeah, that was a very big topic. Like when we started, I went to a lot of Twitter spaces, and the AI debate was always the highest, which I also enjoy, because like when we were at the point where we decided, okay, in which art direction we go, like we knew if we go with AI, there will be a lot of questions, a lot of debates, but we went for it because we wanted to do it, because it also had such appeal, because there are not many successful AI collections out there. I think on Cardano there's Safari Squad and nfts, which I know from my early days too. And the Beast tickets are already the third highest collection in the AI category on jpgstore, so that is a small accomplishment. But when we decided, okay, do we go for the traditional art style with a designer, or do we go with AI? Our reasons to go with AI was that all three of the core team are heavily involved with experimenting with AI, not only image generation, but also in other sectors. I think AI is now the topic for the past year and for the ongoing year, I think too. And there are so many ways where AI comes into place right now. And we all had our experience with AI, so we already knew ways how to generate better images, how to generate better prompts, how to come up with better solutions than just typing in cute beast in Midjourney. And we also made like a pro and con list. Okay, what would be the advantage of AI and what would be the disadvantage? Like the advantage, and where I'm coming from, I know how it is with a real designer. If you have a designer making your collection, how the workflow is, how the exchange is with the project. And with a traditional designer, you are much more unflexible because you have timelines. The designer has his own thinking. You have your own thinking. There may be some miscommunication also, and you're not that flexible in regards of content creation. While on the AI side, like we all three of us are able to produce these images with stable diffusion, and we are much more flexible. And this is also one reason why we can produce content daily, because we can create those images with AI much faster, of course, like a traditional designer. They still look good because we are playing with Midjourney, I think, for almost a year already now, and with stable diffusion. Like we also have our own stable diffusion engine currently, which we are using. And we are really experienced with that. And in that way, I think what's also cool in your content creation on Twitter, like you don't want to only post pictures also of the bees, but what we also did is like posting pictures of the environment, promotional graphics, which you all can do much faster with AI. You can really let out your creativity out with this, because if I'm telling my designer, okay, I want this and this and this, he interprets it like this and this and this. But if I go to my stable diffusion program, I can type in my thoughts, and it may take some tries, but at some point I will come up with exactly what I thought in my head. And maybe what also often came up during the creation of our collection, we typed in this and this, and it proposed us things that we didn't even think of before, like scenarios of the beasts, colors of the beasts. And AI is a tool. You shouldn't rely on AI, in my opinion, but if you can use it, it's such a heavy tool. Because what one of our cons was when we chose AI is, okay, there will be the debate, okay, is it like, some people call it lazy art, or is it should you really resell AI art which you generated much faster? But we went for it because we wanted to create a debate, and we always made sure, okay, our value proposition is not the art itself. Like the value that you get is not the AI image, but the AI image which looks good is the access to the value that we give you. And that's why we argue, okay, we can do this. We can do this first collection by AI. It will look super beautiful. It will be very, very distinct, very, very variable. Like another thing which you have in traditional collections, if you look at the floor of many collections, a lot of items look the same. Maybe a head is different than the other, but the base image is really similar. And with the beast collection, basically every beast will be a 101. So you will have your unique beast, and okay, this type of jacket on the beast will not another beast have in this collection.
Really?
And yeah, that's like, it will be. And then the question comes into place, okay, how will you design the rarity in this place? Because this will be a fully new approach. I think we are really one of the first collection who goes for a traditional PFP collection in AI, which makes things a little bit different regarding the rarity system. Because if you go to the rarity, for example, on jpgstore, you won't be able to pick a head or pick a jacket or pick a color. But we had to design it differently. Like you will have your unique beast, which is, in my opinion, beautiful, because everyone will have a unique artwork in his wallet, and the rarity will be determined through different things. We will not have our rarity determined through a head or clothing or another thing, for example, but our rarity will be determined through the faction that the beast belongs to. Like we have a very sophisticated faction system, which we have built out through the months, also with the lore that we continuously published, like with the whole beast world setting. The beasts are in different factions. For example, there are the royal beasts, which are the government of the beast world. There's the Order of the Beast, which is the dark side that tries to gain the power over beast world. There are the fashionistas that rock the latest clothing on the Paris Fashion Week, and we really try to create a world there. And the faction will be one component of determining the rarity, and there will be also three value-based categories in the categories of strength, defense, and intelligence. And you will have, every beast will have a value between 1 and 10 in those categories, which will in the end determine its power in beast world. And we implemented this because when we develop our platform of Beast World, we want to play with these values. We want really you to interact with your beast, with the services and the platform that we develop, that you can interact with it. For example, we also will have faction wars. So for example, you have a royal beast, another community guy has a fashionista, for example, and you will be able to send not out of your wallet, but you will attach your beast to the whole power of the royal beasts, and the values that the beast has will play then into account. It will be a calculation, okay, which beasts have the most power, and in the end, which faction will win. And then we will design the platform around that faction and so on, and create events like that. So Beast in the end has 4 components: the faction, the strength, the defense, and the intelligence. And with those values, it's really simple design. So you don't have to head through 15 categories until you can see what is your rarity and everything. But you will have a simple way to see, okay, my beast is powerful. My beast is in a powerful faction. And we also designed the values around the faction. So for example, we also have the inventors faction. So those are the innovative beasts in the beast world. And the inventors don't have very high strength values, but they have very high intelligence values. So each faction has their own unique strengths. And we wanted to make sure, okay, it's not also if you have a more common faction, like for example the inventors or the fashionistas, you will still have you could still have a rare beast because the intelligence value is high, so that we have a much more even rarity distribution. So that was our thought behind the whole system, which is a very new system. Like you don't have such a system in traditional collections, and that's why I'm and the team are very excited how the response will be. And I think we have a lot of options to play with that on the web application that we build out from that.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, from what I'm hearing, you're basically bringing something that hasn't been done quite, the way you've presented it before, which gives you a lot of creativity, which goes back to, again, it being done in AI, at least for this stage right here. I think that actually was a good choice. I'm looking at these beasts. They're very captivating. The way they've come out, the way they've just, again, going back to the engagement you were talking about, you guys get a ton of engagement in Twitter. You get a ton of engagement pretty much everywhere you go. You see Unleashed Beasts all over the place. I've been posting and doing all these things with the Ultimate War Chest, and every single time I get flooded with Unleashed Beast. And I think it's fantastic because it shows that even in a bear market, people love to be captivated. They love to connect with their NFTs. They love to be able to do something with their NFTs, whether it's PFP or whether it's gamified or whether there's so many things that are still going on in the NFT space. You're kind of checking those boxes and building this whole beast world and having them be so interactive. This is going to be a lot of fun. And again, I think what you've done with splitting this mint again into 2 now is going to really keep people moving forward and wanting that demand being higher than the supply is going to, I think, awaken something in this space that we need right now. We really need a resurgence. And look, I'm a firm believer in Cardano. We're going to get to some of this Polygon stuff here in just a second because I'm getting pretty big on Polygon as well. But, what Cardano has to offer just in general for NFTs alone, not even talking about CIP68 coming up with all the things that you can do with that as well. I think personally, we're about to have a Cardano summer. I think we're going to have this resurgence in the NFT space, and I think projects like what you guys are doing right now, getting that mint price down to where it's not only affordable, but that in itself is a value proposition, because we just came out of March Madness. We had the March and even part of April with the big mints, right? The 200 plus, the even higher than that, and people were just kind of they need a break. They need a break from all that right there. And I really truly see your project being one of those projects that could have minted for that super high price, and probably still, especially cutting down to 15 and 1500 each, you could have done well. But you guys have, again, looked at the market and said, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to drive our project forward. And I think it's exactly what Cardano needs. And I'm very excited to see post mint day, how things are turning out, leading into that next step about a month later or so with that next 1500 batch. So let's move on to some of this Polygon stuff here, because again, now from what I see, because I'm involved in a lot of spaces and chats and all this stuff. And I myself am getting ready to do some Polygon stuff later on down the year with UltimateCNFT. But you got two kinds of people. You got three kinds of people. You got the people who are maxis in one chain, maxis in another chain. You got people who see the value and the vision of having cross-chain projects being built and developed and actually engaging in two very different communities. I am extremely 100% pro cross-chain, and some people will they will totally knock that, and they'll be like a maxi and Cardano. Why are you taking these opportunities to check out what's going on over here? And then you got some people over here like maybe they almost have this attitude like, well, we don't want you to come into our space. It's like, well, why not? Because the way I see things, cross-chain is the future. Absolutely. NFT projects, NFT developments, NFT teams, people who just are simply people who are buyers and engagers of NFTs. Why should we limit ourselves to just one chain? I think that that's short-sighted. I think I think you're missing out on a lot of opportunities. And what you can do if you start to blend communities, you start to get this friendly cohesiveness that I think NFTs in general sort of really need. If you look at Cardano itself, all the infighting that we have, to me, is absolutely ridiculous. I go to some of these other chains and they haven't evolved far enough yet to even have that sort of infighting. Like you look at Polygon, I don't see very much of that. I see a lot of people very much encouraging each other. Of course, you get the maxis within their own one single community, but really what you do is you just alienate everybody. And so I'm very, very pro helping out projects who want to integrate these kinds of things. You guys are on the forefront of that because Polygon is such a new chain with NFTs anyway. I've always been a fan of Polygon myself. Cardano and Polygon are basically my two top holdings, my two top chains. I love everything about both of them. I know that each one of them can have a little bit of things that they can do better, but they're constantly working on that. And so now, of course, to come together in the NFT space to see these things interlock, and projects like yourself and a few others who are literally on the forefront. I mean, you're going to be some of the first people who are batching into both project or both chains being a part of your project. Tell me about when you made that decision, why you made that decision, and we'll talk about how you're going to develop that decision. Obviously, the second part in a little bit here. But when did you come to that epiphany that hey, we could do this on Polygon as well?
So our team also is like originated from Cardano. Like I'm also with my full heart still on Cardano, but like you say, you have to be open-minded to also explore the other good places in the space. And I think Polygon made it really good to show how strong the ecosystem support is. I think they like starting from this year, they really wrapped up their efforts with the youth migration, for example, and they showed, okay, we want to have good projects on our chain. And we in the team, like we already developed months ago a growth plan throughout the year, what I told you with the momentum recycling and which milestones we want to hit through the year and how we can further push our growth, because that's one thing where projects often struggle after the mint to grow further. And I think that's a very big component that was missing on Cardano, like onboarding more users from outside. And that's always what we also wanted to achieve with Unleashed Beasts at some point. And at the beginning when we made that plan, it was not fixed, okay, on which chain we want to expand. But when we saw, okay, there are serious efforts from the official Polygon Foundation to onboard projects that have a strong foundation, that have a good business plan, to onboard them on their chain, we're sure, okay, we want to also grow on Polygon. And I think currently you also have to be cautious because cross-chain is also such a buzzword currently. Like every project uses cross-chain, and it's a very, very marketing friendly term currently. Like metaverse was a year ago, I think. And what we see currently is that also a lot of projects that wanted to mint initially on Cardano are abandoning Cardano and minting fully on Polygon. And that's not what we wanted to do. Like we could also just transfer our stuff to Polygon and do everything there. But what we wanted to do is first build a strong foundation on Cardano where we are coming from. Show, okay, we have a competent team. We can do a full mint. We can unleash the beasts. We can build the first utility. And we wanted to show first, okay, we can do something on Cardano. We want to have a strong foundation before we move on. Like that was always our ethos. So what we will do our mint. We want to start growing. We want to start keeping the momentum after the mint, starting our events, starting our growth plan after the mint. And when we showed the Cardano community, okay, we have a strong foundation here, then it's time to also expand on Polygon, because in that way we will continue with our growth. We will onboard new users, which will be beneficial to not only the community on Cardano, but also to you can call it OG collection on Cardano then, which will also have more demand then, which is then only available on the secondary market. And then a Polygon guy comes in and sees, okay, there's a Cardano collection also. Maybe I should snag one. So in a perfect world, the aftermarket price will rise too when we do a right onboarding on Polygon. And we also already had talks with Polygon. I can tease that it's still very early because they are also very cautious with which projects they onboard. And we were very clear in the communication. Okay, we want to do our mint on Cardano first and show you guys then, okay, that's what we have and that's what we can build and that's the community we have. So we are very, I think we are very positive towards the future, towards Polygon. And I think there will be a very good way into integrating to Polygon then. And that's on our plan this year to do a very smooth expansion on Polygon then. But like I said, our first goal is to create this fundament on Cardano, to create a solid foundation, and then use the like you said, the cross-chain exploration to further grow our community, our project. And with the web application, the Beast World that we are building, like our plan is that at some day in the end of this year, you will be able to come to our web application and you can just choose, okay, do I want to log in with my Eternal wallet and use my Beast on Cardano to log in on the platform? Or do I want to use MetaMask and use my Beast on Polygon to log in on the platform? And I think that's the perfect way into combining two chains into one platform and utilizing the beasts on each chain to interact with the stuff that we are building.
I 100% agree, and I'm excited to see how this goes down, because I do believe that if any two chains can be a little bit interoperable with their communities, people who are collecting NFTs, I think it's Cardano and I think it's Polygon. I think they just make sense to expand both. I'll be doing some of the same things, even covering some Polygon projects on my channel, so that when people come and see those, they also see that's UltimateCNFT. The C for a reason. Cardano NFTs is my home. It'll always be my heartbeat. It's where I live and thrive and breathe, and it's where all my communities are and all the connections that I've made. But it's such a vast world out there, the NFT space. It's always going to grow. You see all kinds of new chains now that are now integrating NFTs. and the possibilities really are endless. And what I like about that is that you get a lot of people who are pushing the technology. It's not just one. It's if it was just Ethereum, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't be a collector of NFTs. You know, I had a bad experience on Ethereum in the beginning for many reasons. When I came to Cardano, that's when everything opened up for me, and I started learning a lot about the technology and the possibilities. Well, there's more people out there, big-brained people. They're not all centralized in one NFT chain, and that's what crypto to me really represents, is decentralization. So the more decentralized you get, even as an investor, taking advantage of opportunities, the better I think you're going to be, the more educated you're going to be, the more opportunities you're going to have. And now we can start to cross-chain these things. So, you know, my hat's off to you guys for being unafraid of really doing everything that you need to do from the perspective of how you want to make your project successful, whether it comes to, you know, cutting the supply, cutting the mint cost, which of course anybody can find any reason in the world these days to criticize just about everything. And it's unfortunate because you see criticism, whether it's, you know, cutting a mint price. Oh, they're cutting their mint price, they must not have a good product. Well, no, they're actually seeing what the market needs and what the people needs and what the space needs, and they're adjusting to it, which I think is fantastic. And also the AI art, not being afraid to be like, hey, we're going to do AI here, and we're going to branch off from that over here in Polygon. And you know, again, high marks across the board. I really do expect to see a level of success that I think might actually surprise a lot of people in this space right now, because sentiment is very low. And of course, people, they get sometimes closed-minded to the point to where like, well, nothing's going to succeed in this market. I disagree. I think that this market you can be successful in any stage, whether it's bear or bull. And it really depends on your approach. So, you know, the approach you guys are taking is fantastic. And I don't know how much you can possibly tell me now. Maybe we'll have to cover this in another interview down the road when it gets time to start approaching Polygon. Of course, I'd like to make another video on that as well. But when it comes to developing the art on Polygon, it's not going to be AI, correct? Is this going to be like more traditional art?
Yeah, like that's we wanted to find a middle way because there are a lot of people in the community that like the AI art like you, but there are also people that, like, we got the feedback, okay, they like the idea behind the project, they like what we are trying to do, but they are not the biggest fan of AI. And what we wanted to do for the Polygon collection is, like, we already have everything in place, and the collection making is already in the beginning. It will be the traditional design, so that we have, like, in the end, when all collections are released, that we have both worlds. We have AI on Cardano, we have a traditional collection Polygon, and in the end, you as the end user, you can choose whatever you want, which style fits you best, and you can choose which one you want to have.
Oh, that's fantastic, man. Look, you know, over here at UltimateCNFT, we're rooting for you, bro. I love to see you expand your fingerprint in this space too. And, you know, we've talked privately as well about having that IRL job as you're developing a project, and how much it takes to really be in the driver's seat, doing what people like you and I do, creating projects, getting a community together, building, you know, listening to what people have to say, and trying to bring basically the best of what we have in our passion to the space through our projects. I've seen you really come a long way in that regard, and it's a pleasure to have you on here sharing with us, you know, U.B. I'm excited. I'm gonna have to look at my calendar and adjust that from the 5th to the 10th, and make sure that I'm in my seats now to not miss out on my mint. And I think I am going to go actually pick up a couple more of those beast passes while they're the beast tickets while they're still pretty low, because it's funny how sometimes you see leading into the mint, people start to FOMO into these things, and now you cutting that into 1,500 creates a whole new platform for people to be interested in exactly what it is that's coming. What I do like to see in the bear market is that a lot of projects have either, and I don't say this in a bad way, but a lot of projects have either said, now's not the time, let's put this on hold. Maybe a lot of people who are coming in here to be a rug pull with bad intentions are like, maybe we shouldn't do that right now, because it's just, there's not enough liquidity to go around, basically. So you're seeing that there's a lot less projects after this whole March Madness liquidity issue that we've had. You're starting to see the fact that there's only so much that we can focus on that's minting new. I think you guys have picked a really good time and a really good place to be where you're at, and it's very exciting. So thank you for being here, Dennis, with us. Is there anything else you'd like to share about the project before we end up cutting this interview and getting this up there for everyone to enjoy?
I think we covered the basic points, and it's absolutely a pleasure for mine. I love your content and I love
Thank
what you're doing. And I think you said it very well, like in the bear market that we are right now, like the sentiment is very bad, but it always takes one catalyst or one event which turns the segment positive. And I can say we as a project, we want to be this catalyst in May. We want to turn the market and the community a bit more bullish, make a successful mint where the people have a lot of fun, don't need to spend that much ADA.
you.
And that's our goal. And yeah, thank you a lot for your time and for this wonderful interview, man.
Well, I appreciate it. If anything, I can see that this project has a very, very good opportunity to do just that. I think it's exactly what we need in this market at the time that we need it. And, thank you for all your hard work and putting that forward and just keeping your head down and doing what you think is best for the project and for, the space as well. And also being bold enough to go in, into that cross chain, area that I think needs to happen in both spaces. And my hat's off to you for all that hard work. Dennis, thank you so much for being here. Unleash Beast community, if you've made it this far in the interview, I appreciate all of your support and the ultimates as well. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Feel free to share this with everybody, you guys. All the links to everything you need are going to be in the description box below. And you can do what you want with that. Get ready for the 10th and be there for Mint. I know that I will be there, full disclosure. I'm coming in hard. I'm coming in fast. And you know what? That ultimate war chest, I'm going to be looking at that secondary because I really, truly believe that you are creating a value proposition in this space at a perfect time. So I will see you guys all there. Thank you for supporting. Peace out and God bless.